Hello, CQ, 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 calling CQ. CQ, the old friend's net. This is WA4LLR, Dave in Burnsville, North Carolina, calling CQ, the old friend's net. This net meets 3 times weekly, Tuesdays and Thursday mornings at 8 a.m. and Sunday afternoons at 4 p.m. on this frequency. The net is conducted in the Amplitude Modulation mode, carried out in the round table format. So, any station that is capable of generating an AM signal is welcome to participate. So stations wishing to check into the old friend's net, give me a call and come now.
N4LQ.
KG4IUQ.
WF2U.
KWB4ARK.
WB4NKL.
N4IYQ.
WA4EVK.
K4JAL.
W9IXX.
W4MEC.
Okay, let me tell you who I have thus far. I have N4LQ, KG4IUQ, WF2U, KZ4B, WB4ARK, WB4NKL, N4IYQ, WA4EVK, K4JAL, W9IXX, W4MEC. Who did I miss?
KN4R.
All right, recognizing Brian, KN4R. Any others? All righty, once more through the list. N4LQ, KG4IUQ, WF2U, KZ4B, WB4ARK, WB4NKL, N4IYQ, WA4EVK, K4JAL, W9IXX, W4MEC, and KN4R. One more standby. Any other? Okay, we will go ahead and begin this session. We have 28 degrees, snow. The ground is just beginning to get white, and looks like it's going to be, I don't think it's going to be to the amount that they had originally called for, but we'll have to wait and see. Running the Babcock and the HQ150, because the HQ150 has the best noise suppression of the ones that I've found. So let's go down to the city of Pleasant Living and see what's happening in Shelby. N4LQ, WA4LLR.
Okay, WA4LLR, N4LQ in the city of Pleasant Living. Well, it's 49 degrees here, Dave. Man, what a difference. And the sky is perfectly clear and blue, not a cloud in the sky, a slight breeze, but cold weather is on the way. So I feel sorry for those folks in D.C., because they're going to get cold. Anyway, on over to Mark, KG4IUQ, N4LQ.
Thank you very much, Steve. This is Mark, KG4IUQ in Shelby, the city of Pleasant Living. I'm running a Bandmaster Deluxe by Harvey Wells today. This has a D104 microphone connected to it, and I'm using a multi-LMAC PMR8 receiver. I have a Heath VF1 VFO. I'm using a half-wave dipole. Okay, I'm going to pass it on now to Mayor WF2U in the group. This is KG4IUQ.
Roger, Mark. Very good. KG4IUQ. And the net, this is WF2U. Excellent signals all around so far. Nobody's below S9. And Dave, you are 10 over, Steve 10 over, Mark you 9, and then I'll give exact reports later. And it's getting cooler. It was in the low 50s earlier, around noon, and it started to drop. Now it's 44 and pretty breezy, so it feels a little bit chilly. Running the Yaesu station, the FR101D receiver with a matching FL101 transmitter, driving the Yaesu FL2100B linear, putting out about 325 watts peaks on AM into the end-fed halfway 480 meters. So with that, it goes to John, I guess. KZ4B and the group. This is WF2U.
Okay, WF2U in the group. This is KZ4B, Fine Business Mayor. Good copy all around. Signals are coming in very well today. Hope that keeps up. The weather here has been kind of rainy and crappy. It's better now than it has been, but and it's warmer than it has been, but it's still lousy. So we haven't gone on a walk today. We made it yesterday, no problem. It was chilly, but doable. We are on the usual T150 transmitter, driving the Ameritron AL82 amp, which is feeding a resonant 80-meter dipole. And let's see, we're receiving on a Palstar PR30 solid-state receiver, and with a it's the Sherwood Engineering SE3 synchronous detector, outboard synchronous detector, which today I don't think we really need. So that's a rundown here. Over to Buddy. WB4ARK in the group, KZ4B, over.
KZ4B, WB4ARK. Okay, John, looks like we've got partially overcast conditions here. We've got 54 degrees, and it's been I don't know, kind of overcast all day. Haven't had too much sun, and it peaks out every now and then, but it's pretty good overcast, and looks like it's wanting to clear in the west, but it hasn't done so yet. We're on our 4400, receiving on R390A horizontal dipole. And so that's the deal with the transmitter. Sorry about messing up, thanking the wrong person for calling the net the other day. Should have been thanking Steve, so we'll thank him now. And we'll thank Dave early so that we don't get mixed up. So over to WB4NKL, WB4ARK.
WB4ARK, it's WB4NKL on the ART-13, and got 31 degrees and a skiff of snow, but it's quit snowing right at the moment. I think they're still calling for maybe a couple inches. I'm not real sure on that. But I guess the big news is the temperature is not going to be back above freezing till Thursday sometime, so I'm not looking forward to that at all. I guess we'll get whatever comes, but probably won't be back here in the shack for a while. So we'll send it on to neighbor Chuck, N4IYQ, WB4NKL.
Okay, WB4NKL and the old friends, N4IYQ. Well, conditions about the same here. It's 30 degrees. Says wind chill's 13, and we're going to have wind chills down around 0, possibly a little below by morning time. I think it's supposed to get down to about 11 degrees in the morning, and they're calling for a gust to 27 here in a little while. Since the snow's going to quit in 19 minutes, I guess they've really got it nailed down. But it's been kind of a dreary day. Just got back in. It snowed a little harder in Johnson City, ran a few errands. And Dave, thanks for calling the net. I'll be like Buddy, I'll get it out of the way real quick. Everybody good and strong over this way. Good copy on everyone. On down to you, Boone. WA4EVK and Pickens in 4IYQ.
N4IYQ in the group, WA4EVK. Well, thank you, Chuck. About 54 degrees here. Beautiful sky, blue, clear sky. Running the AF68 into a Swan Mark 1 with a SDR play receiver to take some of the noise out. End-fed half-wave, cut for 80 meters. Up about 40 feet right now. Not too much else going on here today. I've been working a little 6 meters. Band's not truly open, but I managed to scare up a couple of locals while I was trying. And with that, I'm going to send it on over to Jimmy. K4JL to take it, WA4EVK.
WA4EVK, K4JL, you're sounding good today, Boone, from over there in the wilds. That perfect cut on your antenna is doing a real good job. I'm on a 32V2 and talking with a D104 out through a Cobra antenna and listening on a 75A4. Life is good. I had to come over here to this shack today to try to make sure nothing freezes. It's supposed to get down to 7 degrees tonight with up to 25 mile an hour gusts, so it's going to be a cold one here in the mountains. W9IXX K4JAL, over to you.
Okay, fine business from Whiskey 9 India, X-ray. Fine business. Everybody's doing real good here. I'm located down here in Green Creek area of Tryon, and looking out the window here, and I can see the mountains over there, and I see the clouds in the horizon, and it looked like there was a little white on Mount Pisgah, and then over by the mountain that's in front of Bearwalla, I can't remember the name of it. Looked like there was just a little splash of it there. And then looking around, Mount Mitchell's getting kind of where I can't see it much anymore. Clouds have covered it pretty well. But it looks like it's right around the edge of everything else around here is pretty well blue sky. Temperature has dropped here about an hour ago. It was 54, and now it's down to 46. And winds picked up about 13, 15 miles an hour. And just for reference, I'm running a nothing exciting, nothing exciting at this station, but an ICOM IC756 Pro 3 in AM mode, obviously. On their hand mic, and I'm driving it into a antenna, which is an end-fed half wave up. I'm not up at 40 feet. I'm up about 8 to 10 feet, depending where you look. So anyway, that's kind of what I got here. And I'm glad I could get on and hear everybody. I was getting worried there for a while, but I finally got things halfway up, let's put it that way, and can get back on. So, Charlie, coming over to you. W4MEC and the group, W9IXX.
Okay, Phil, W9IXX and the group, W4MEC. You're all good. Well, if you hear me breaking up, I was thinking something was going wrong with my receiver, but with KZ4B, and then Buddy came up and he was doing the same thing, and I said, what's going on here? I'm fiddling around, looking at stuff, and then out of the side of my eye, I see my feed line go sailing by, so I said, good grief. I looked out the window, and that thing is making like a kite out there. And I have a feeling, I checked my plug-in connection. It was fine. I have a feeling something's shaking up there at the top there at the antenna. But I don't see my SWR snapping any, so but it's still blowing out there. It's 31 degrees here. No, I take it back. It's 36 degrees. It has dropped 7 degrees in the past hour and a half. It's getting cold. The sky is crystal clear. I did look at the radar, and there's a big old gray thing heading this away, but it seems to be breaking up. Hopefully it will all break up. While I'll deal with the cold, I really don't want to deal with the snow. I was out there breaking up the last of the ice on my driveway this afternoon in the more or less warm day while I was washing the mud off of my Suburban, and I had to go to my daughter's last night, and the primary road to her place had a sheet of ice on it that no one could get up and down. So we had to go the back way in four-wheel drive, so things got a little muddy because the road was nasty and muddy and rutted, but we got to her and got back out of there. So my wife had, on one of the warm days last week, the wife took the Suburban to the car wash and got it all nice and clean, and now it looks like a mudmobile there, but it looks better after I cleaned it up, so she's happy. That's all that counts. So down to Brian, KN4R in the group, W4MEC.
Okay, Charlie, W4MEC in the group, KN4R. Brian, Cheryl's Ford, where it's 47 degrees, beautiful, clear, little breezy, and I'm going to I have not taken a walk yet. I'm going to after the net, but the biggest problem of doing that is I have to get out of my pajamas to do that, so won't have to worry about shaving or anything like that, though. So anyway, I'm using Globe Champ 350 in-fed half-wave, listening on the Australian HRO. And let's see, Dave, thanks for handling the net, and sorry you still have the noise issue. Everybody's coming through just beautifully here today. And Mark, congratulations on the D104 with your Bandmaster Deluxe. I wondered if you ended up with a amplified D104 or a regular one. And John, very interesting on your PAL-Star PR30 receiver with outboard synchronous detector. I wonder how fast that is. You know, some of the radios I've had, it takes a while. It goes, I wonder if yours is faster than that. And buddy, you are so strong, I can listen to the nice, comforting fan noise behind your great audio. And let's see, Boone, okay on the 6-meter local contacts. That's good. Phil, you're coming through just fine on 25 watts, and the audio sounds real good. And let's see, Jimmy, I found out from Brown, W1NZR, he was bringing another load of radios down from Rhode Island, and I said, what do you got on this time? And he mentioned a PRD1, and it sounds like he might have the antenna and maybe the stand. So maybe one of these days you and I will be able to go to his place and see a real complete PRD1 in action. So anyway, up at the bottom of the list, back to you, Dave. WA4LLR in the group, KN4R.
All righty, fine business, Brian. KN4R and the old friends, WA4LLR. Let me take a quick standby. Do we have any other check-ins for the old friends net? Come now. Okay, I guess we've got everybody. Good signals all the way around. Everybody is strong, including my noise source. but I'm copying everybody through it. It is one, I don't know, this used to be one of the quietest radio locations I've ever seen. I don't know exactly what happened, and I've not had a chance to go off in pursuit of it, but it is one irritating racket. In fact, I've got just a little tiny blurb of it. You can hear it. I said you could. Well, come on. So that's kind of what I have to put up with. Anyway, let's see here. The weather is beautiful in the city of Pleasant Living. Well, good for you, Steve. Hang on to it as long as you can. And Mark, that Harvey Wells Bandmaster Deluxe and the D104 and the Heathkit VFO are doing a fantastic job. Just beautiful audio. I mean, it really sounds good. And I'm curious if it's an amplified or unamplified D104. Mir, thanks for the signal reports. John, you said it was kind of rainy and yucky down your way. But the 4400's doing a good job for you. And for some reason, Cliff, you and Chuck are a little bit down. It must be the propagation in that direction. I don't know. Maybe the wind and the snow are blowing the wrong way. Let's see what else is going on here. Good afternoon to you, Phil. I'm copying you okay on the 756 Pro 3. And Charlie with the flying feed line. When you were talking about going to your daughter's house, had to go to your daughter's house, I started to say what's wrong with the car this time, but I won't say that. And Brian, I'm so sorry that you're going to have to get out of your PJs to go for a walk. Oh, well, you know. Let's see here. Space weather today, a little more active. Sunspot count's 128. Solar flux index is 227. And the K is 2.67. A few items from this day in history. On this day in 2012, the popular file-sharing computer service Mega Upload was shut down because of violations of anti-piracy laws. On this day in 2000, Hedy Lamarr died in Florida. She was quite a gal. Spoke 4 languages fluently and had quite a career in film. Also a co-inventor of electronics anti-jamming system, which kind of resulted in the spread spectrum and so on and so forth. In 1977, U.S. President Gerald Ford pardoned Tokyo Rose. On this day in 1955, Dwight D. Eisenhower held the first ever televised presidential press conference. On this day in 1946, Dolly Parton was born. And let's see what else. That's about the size of it for today. So we will press on. Back to you, Steve, N4LQ, WA4LLR.
Okay. Somebody was throwing a nice carrier on you, Dave. I heard some voices. Was somebody trying to get in? I don't know. Anyway, it's N4LQ. Heady? I thought it was Headley. All right, well, that'll do. Let's see here. Yeah, the Harvey Wells does sound good, Mark. And sounds like you did a good job on that rig. And the VF1 VFO, what a combo. Charlie, I'm wondering how your hot water heater project came out. I guess you must have got it hot again. And I was trying to figure out what a PD1 was, Brian. I wasn't sure if it was a receiver or a transmitter, so I put PD or PRD1 transmitter in Google and the receiver came up. So I guess it doesn't matter. But obviously this is what Dave needs to track down that noise, and that is some robust sounding noise. Boy, oh boy, that thing, that came through. That's the worst sounding racket I ever heard. Anyway, let's see here. What else did I have? All the in-fed halfways are doing a good job today. I'm using the horizontal loop antenna. For some reason, almost everybody is right at 15 over. Some are pushing up close to 20. And Phil, you're down kind of weak there. You're about 5 over, something like that. But I understand antenna 8 or 10 feet high do make a difference. So I've been working a bunch of 12 meters here lately. I got on there yesterday, and I felt like a DX station. Everybody was calling me for some reason on CW. Just one European and South Americans, just all over the world. Kind of a nice opening. Anyway, over to you, Mark. KG4I UQ N4LQ.
Thank you very much, Steve. This is Mark, KG4IUQ. Dave, LLR. Sorry to hear about your noise source. That sounds like power line noise to me. But, I'm no great expert, but all the power line noise I've ever had sounded kind of like that. I found it with a AM receiver, and just took it around with me in the car, and I used an antenna, and I used it on 2 meters to find it. You're sounding good, very good, and I want to tell you that this Harvey Wells microphone, the D104, I'm using an amplified D104 that I feel like is a very good microphone. I just don't think it could be any better, and I got it from Steve, N4LQ. I feel like he gave up something really good, and I'm very thankful for it. It sounds good to me when I hear it in here in the shack, when I listen on a radio in here. WF2U, you sound very good here on your Yaesu station. It's good to hear you. KZ4 Bravo with the T150 transmitter and the PALSTAR PR30. You're sounding good. Buddy, WB4ARK, you sound great here. Cliff, NKL, sounding good. And Chuck, IYQ. I think you said something about Johnson City. You sound good here. Boone, WA4EBK, you sound good here. And Jimmy, K4JAL, you sound good. Phil, IXX, with the ICOM 756 Pro 3, and an antenna up about 9 feet. You mentioned Mount Pisgah. I believe you can see it or something like that. I went to college in Brevard, North Carolina, and we would go out into the Pisgah National Forest to have parties. It reminds me of that. You're sounding good here. W4MEC with the flying feed line. You sound good here. Brian, KN4R with the Globe Champ 350. I will say to you that this is an amplified D104. And thank you for the comment. And I'd like to say these vintage radios do, they sound rather good. It's good. It's easy to get a room-filling audio with these receivers. In a way, they're just more enjoyable to listen to. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to mention here that I'm using a no amplifier here. I'm running about, I'd say, a peak of about 50 watts. That's what my meter is saying. Carrier's probably about 15. Okay, I'm going to turn it over now to Mayor WF2U in the group. This is KG4IUQ.
Yeah, very good. You're booming in here, Mark. KG4IUQ and the group. This is WF2U. Well, everybody's at least S9, as I said. This S-meter on the Yaesu receiver is a little stingy, kind of, because the most I can usually get out of it is like 20 dB over 9 in some stations sometimes, and when I turn on my any other real communication receiver like the Collins 51S1 or one of the Mackie marine receivers, I get like almost pegging the S-meter. So this is in the class probably of at least 10 or 20 dB over 9, I would say. Considering the behavior of this S-meter, I'll probably have to tweak it up. I'll compare it to an average of a couple of receivers and set the sensitivity part. Never bothered doing it, and it's really a funny story because Mark, regarding your Harvey Wells TBS-50 Charlie, I was browsing last week, just for the heck of it. I usually browse. I looked, I saw a TBS-50 Delta, which is the senior model, with a carbon microphone input that does not have the microphone preamp. It's driven directly from the carbon mic. That looked absolutely pristine with the original VFO, and it had the best offer option, and but it started at like 380. I said, what the heck do I need another transmitter for when I have transmitters here up the gazoo, except, you know, I just have to pull them out and hook them up and all that. And run them like I usually do, change the station once in a while. And since it was an offer, I said, you know, I really don't need it, so I'll give them a real oboe just for laughs. So I put $200 in there, and guess what? Immediately it came back that I bought it. So now I got it like in the beginning. When did I get it? Oh yeah, I got it. I think Wednesday. I opened it up and everything except for a little bit of dust. Inside it's absolutely pristine. Nobody messed with it, it looks like. And so I had a little problem. I said, okay, now I have to go into my junk area and look whether I can find some transformers to build a power supply. And then I'm looking at, I never saw a power supply for it, and totally unrelated to Harvey Wells, I bumped into an APS-50 power supply, which is the TBS power supply, on eBay. That was another, I think they asked something close to $200 for it. It was a little rusty here and there, and I gave them an offer, and they took it also. It was not the same seller, so I already got it. All I have to do is change the AC wiring and some of the wires that go to the standby switch. And this is the model. Somebody already, I don't know if it's not factory even, put the PTT option relay in it, and that interface cable is also frayed. So I have to rewire it a little bit, change the capacitor, and I'll be on the air with this thing probably next week. Instead of a carbon microphone, I have several avionics carbon replacement microphones made by Telex, and it's not a carbon, it's dynamic mics with an FET transistor interface, and it's plug and play with carbon microphone inputs. So that's what I'm going to use. So sorry for that long story, but I thought it was funny. So I'm joining your Harvey Wells club, Mark. KZ4B and the group, this is WF2U.
Okay, WF2U and the group, KZ4B, fine business. Mere conditions are quite good today. And on that note, Charlie, you are coming in better than I've heard you in weeks, if not months. So your antenna may not be receiving, but it certainly is getting out in this direction. And Dave, I agree with Mark. It sounds definitely like power line noise, and which is probably either, as you well know, either a leaky insulator or a limb in the line, or even loose hardware that's not actually connected to the hot power line can do that with capacitive coupling. I've had that problem here as well. And let's see here. Charlie, answering your question, Brian, on the synchronous detector, it tracks very well. I mean, it's fast, and if there's a decent signal and it's reasonably close, and when I say reasonably close, I'd say within 5 or even almost 10 kcs, it will snatch it and zero it in. And if the signal is very weak or far enough off, it can take a while to bring it in, but it's quite effective. I've been very pleased with the SE3. It's I've got several different. I've got the R8A and what do you call it? The Sony 2010. I think it's a faster and more sensitive synchronous detector than any of those, and those are not bad at all. And let's see what else. I was trying to renew my license, which is going to expire at the end of next month, and my laptop died. It was an old Lenovo, very long in the tooth. I can't remember exactly how old it is, but it's probably closer to 10 years than 5 years old. So I ordered and have received a MacBook Air N2, and I'm in the process of trying to learn how to operate it. And hopefully the learning curve is not going to be too steep, because I do need to renew my license. And maybe I'll have less aggravation than I've had in the past. According to my son, who recommended it, he said that the software package that comes with it is more immune to hacking than a lot of other brands. So there. And let's see. Oh, buddy, on the next transmission, if there is one, you said you've got a 4-400. Is that a homebrew setup? It sounds good. Or is it something commercial? In which case, let me know what it is. But it does sound good. So on that note, it's time to pass it on down the line to none other than Buddy. WB4ARK in the group, KZ4B, over.
KZ4B, WB4ARK. Okay. Well, just touching up my screen current here. Yeah, it's a single 4400 modulated by a pair of 4125s, which the modulator is very similar to a T368 somewhat in its design. I built the speech amp from scratch, and but I'm using a T368 mod transformer and interstage transformer from T368, and so it does a good job. I run at about 380 watts output, not pushing it too hard right now. So anyhow, thanks everyone for the report on the signal, and Dave, I hope you find that power line noise soon. That can be very exasperating, but with it giving off the signature it is, I think you should be able to find it with an AM receiver without too much trouble. And the temperature has dropped 1 degree, and we've got a little bit of sun peeking through from the west. It's kind of clear out to the horizon from about I don't know, maybe 15 degrees up, something like that. And but the clouds are still out there. So Charlie, I got a question about your water heater element. How many elements is this that have taken the same turn that this one has, being blown apart like this one did, the one you showed on the internet? I'd just be interested. I think you probably saw my note about the lightning. I'll stick by that because I think that's probably what caused that to occur. I've seen that happen before. And let's see what else we got. I don't know. I don't have anything else I'm working on right now. I've got all the ART13s done and all the KWM2As done. So we're sitting back enjoying the problems that I'm faced here at the house with the antenna and all. So we will pass it on, and I tell you what, it is really something that the temperature has dropped as low as it has, only a few hundred miles by air from here, 100 miles maybe by air, 125 miles by air, and it's really something that you folks have got such low temperatures there. So hopefully conditions will stay calm as far as the weather is concerned, as far as snow is concerned. So we'll turn it over to WB4 NKL Cliff, WB4 ARK.
Yeah, WB4 ARK, it's WB4 NKL. Okay, buddy, boy, that homebrew rig sure sounds good. Big signal here. Good copy on everybody. but some of them are coming in a little better. Dave, I don't know what's going on between me and you. I had a pretty good copy on you, but I wasn't over here looking at the measure, but everybody sounds about the same, you know, when you're not looking at the measure. Mayor, congratulations on the Harvey Wells. Be looking forward to hearing that on the air. I've got one I need to put on the air sometime, and maybe we'll have a Harvey Wells collection here going, a group. I guess I'll make this my last. My feet are getting kind of cold out here, and probably turn the heat down and might not come back out to the radio shack for a few days, so those wind chills going to be something else. 73s, and thanks for calling it, Dave, and we will look for everybody. I'll be on from the basement there Tuesday, I guess. Go ahead, Chuck. N4IYQ, WB4NKL.
Okay, WB4NKL and the old friends N4IYQ. I neglected to say last time, we're running the multi-LMAC AF68, driving the SB221, probably about 225 watt carrier, and receiving on the PMR8. Everybody sounds quite ear comfortable listening to everyone. I don't know about Cliff, but I'm kind of looking forward to Orlando. I think Brian's going. I don't know if any of the rest of you are, but about 3 weeks away, and hopefully the weather will be much more pleasant down that way. I think we're looking for 8 or 9 degrees here Wednesday morning, so the cold has settled in. And like Cliff, I'm going to jump out of here. I actually got in the door about 10 till 4 from doing a grocery run for myself and a friend, and haven't unloaded the car yet, so it's only going to get colder. But good to hear everybody. Hope the weather doesn't affect anybody adversely. And we'll look forward to catching you guys soon on the air. WA4EVK, Boone to pick it up and take it. 73 guys from Telford, Tennessee, 4IYQ.
N4IYQ in the group, WA4EVK. Well, 73's Chuck. Good hearing you this afternoon. Not too much to add here. Just hoping weather's not as bad as they are calling for here in the next day or two. It always seems like it's when it drops a lot below the usual temperatures, you can run into all kinds of things. Hopefully everybody's batting down and ready for it. This is going to be my last round. I'm going to have to get out of here and do a couple of errands before it gets too much later in the day. And with that, I'm going to say 73s and send it on up to my friend Jimmy. K4JL to take it, WA4EVK.
WA4EVK, K4JL, 73, everybody that left. Cliff and Chuck signed out, but they came way up, so it had to be atmospheric. Sounding good. Brian, I would love to go see a PRD-1 in action. I hadn't seen that since we loaded one up at the Fubai station to send up toward Quan Tri Province. That was back in '66, and I hadn't laid eyes on a working one since. You've inspired me to get over there and get the one you gave me fired up. I don't have the RDF deck on it, but it's a good receiver. And talking about Headley Lamar, you're over in Blazing Saddles, Steve. First time I saw Headley Lamar, I was just a little boy, and she played Delilah in Samson, and Delilah with a guy named Victor Mature, I think it was. It's either that or Manure. Can't say for sure, but I believe that's about the first time I experienced lust. Well, that's enough talk like that. W9IXX, K4JAL. Over to you, Phil.
Okay, fine business, Jimmy. Everybody is sounding really still good on my antenna here, which maybe I'll try to raise it here someday. I've got my original 160/80 tower came down in the Helene. And I've got, so I've dug out my other one now. and probably I haven't had time to put it up. So I got it together out there, but still working on getting that up. Yeah, the wind has picked up. I'm looking out the window here at my, I got a DB18 Echo up about, it's up about 40 feet there, it's on right now. And I got a tilt plate on it, and of course it's making the thing move. Fortunately, I got what they call a car lock on it, so it doesn't do a full vertical. Also, I'm watching, I had property next door to me here. We had an orchard and stuff next door, and we sold it after my mother passed, and so I moved in next door here, so I'm looking over there. There's two gals, they turned it into a big horse farm, and there's two gals out there riding the horses around the outside rink there, so they're having fun. And I think somebody mentioned power supplies, and if you ever need a high voltage power supply, or two of them, I have two of them here. They're reconnectable 8,000 volt, 4,000 volt, about 4 amps at 8,000, and they're three-phase inputs. And I got two of them, and they're for powering up my two magnetrons. I got two large magnetrons here, and got them out of a TV station they were using for downlink. So anybody needs one of those, or both of them, I've got them here if you need them. I'm redoing the radio room here, so things are kind of in turmoil. Also, I've got my Collins rack here that I'm going to get after one of these days and get it going. But it's the early line, the 75S1 and the 32S1 and the 30L1 and so forth. So hopefully I'll get that up here pretty soon. And just if you guys want to check something, if you would, I've got my stepper vertical on this switch also. Right now I'm talking on the extended half wave, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll switch it over to the stepper vertical, which I got the 80 meter loading coil on. So let's see here. Okay, I'm back. So you probably lost me. I was trying to receive on it. I can't receive much at all on it, so you probably didn't hear me. Anyway, I won't hold it much longer here, so to get it back to you, Charlie. And the wind, like I say, the wind's picked up and it's dropped another few degrees, so we're down to 43 now. W4MEC in the group, W9IXX.
Boy, I can see it on the power out. W9IXX in the group, W4MEC. Yeah, not the SWR, but anyway. All right, good copy all around. And Phil, yeah, well, I had a copy on you when you went to the vertical, and I wasn't fast enough to turn up the gains to see the difference in signal strength, but it was significant. So, but without touching anything, you were still well Q5. So it's funny with my vertical. I've got a ground-mounted 43-foot vertical, and there are times when I can hear George better on that than I can on my inverted V. So, or when I had the 80 meter dipole up, there are times, but nobody can hear me transmit. But sometimes it works really good as a receive antenna. So, well, let's see, buddy. I doubt it was lightning. It's just something in the water. I was wondering about the fact. I was curious as to whether there could have been something electrical going on between the location of the pump and the water heater, in that there's the only connection to the whole system is the neutral wire on the 230, and usually pumps don't have a neutral. They just have 230 volts going to them, but no neutral. So I was starting to be curious as to whether there was maybe something electrical going on in the water, and some kind of current flowing from that element due to the neutral connection. But I don't know. I guess I could. I don't know how to check that, but I guess I could read with a clamp on and see if I got any current flow in my neutral wire and see if that is what's going on. I might try that next time, but it's I put it in the water heater more than a year or 2 years ago, and
it lasted about 6 months, and then I put in the second one. It was 6 months, and the third one was a stainless steel one, and it lasted about 5 or 6 months. And now I put in another stainless steel one. So we'll see what's going on here. It's a mystery. I mean, I need to get a test kit and see if that water is that corrosive. You know, they don't drink it; they use the bottled water. But his grandmother drinks it, who lives down on the side of the mountain there. She uses the same well water, and she drinks it. But that's neither here nor there for her. But anyway, some more investigation to do, and maybe before this one burns out. And it's interesting that they corrode, and the water gets in the element, and then they pop. And this last one apparently was enough to separate it into 2 pieces. So that hasn't happened before. Most of the time they're bent and ate up like you dipped them in acid. So it's a mystery. Yeah, something we're dealing with. Let's see. Since it's coming up here on the time, I probably won't do a 73 round, but I'll be here if we do. We'll look for y'all on Tuesday morning, say 73s, and we'll see what happens here with this weather. KN4R in the group, W4MEC.
Okay, Charlie, very good. W4MEC in the group, KN4R, where everybody is just booming in here. Mir, you're about as strong as I've ever heard you. Other folks are as well. And Phil, I did not have any copy on the vertical here, but I'm still copying you just fine here. Dave, I'm very sorry about that horrible noise. That's unbelievable. So maybe we should have a field day up at your place. Everybody bring receivers, and we'll go roaming around the neighborhood and hopefully not get shot. But let's see. Chuck, I don't know if you're still listening, but I look forward to seeing you and Mark down at Orlando as well. I sent you some hotel info in case you were looking for a place as well. And let's see, I was going for a walk after the net, but my number 2 son just called. We've been keeping his dog. They had to run down to Florida for a celebration of life thing for his wife's side of the family, and they just got back, and so I'm gonna change my focus and deliver this dog. So oh, and by the way, if anybody happens to have one unused or for sale, whatever, I'm looking for a 100-watt auto tuner. You know, something like an LDG, something like that, just in case anybody has one for sale. So anyway, I think that's covered everything. And Jimmy, we will definitely go see Brown. He's expanding his mezzanine right now with another guy, framing it all up, and you know, you'll have even more room to put stuff in. So anyway, 73s, enjoyed it. Everybody have a great one, and we will see you Tuesday, if not sooner. And Dave, thanks again for running the net. WA4LLR in the group, KN4R.
All right, Brian, fine business, KN4R, WA4LLR. Well, I don't mind to do a 73 round. I'm not in a hurry to go anywhere else. We'll say 7-3 to Cliff and Chuck, Boone, and Brian. Jimmy, if I'm not mistaken, that PRD1 has already been in Yancey County once. I picked that thing up at a Sevierville Ham Fest and fiddled with it for a while, and Brian got it from me, and now it's made its way back to Yancey County. That is a heck of a receiver, and would be nice to have the antenna and the stand and all that to go with it. Let's see here. And yes, Mir, congratulations on the pristine Harvey Wells picking up the power supply. And buddy, that homebrew rig sounds really good. Phil, on your vertical versus your low antenna, you were about S9 on the low antenna, and when you went to the vertical, you were between 4 and 5. So yeah. And Charlie, I've never heard of having to replace a water heater element every 6 months. That's just amazing to me. And if the water is that corrosive, holy cow. I don't know. It's almost Well, I don't know. It almost sounds like an electrical situation, but it could be the water. So I don't know. I need to talk to my son, the plumber, about that. But I hope you solve it, because that's ridiculous. Changing elements every 6 months, and it's interesting that stainless steel didn't last any longer than the copper elements. Very interesting. I'm curious to hear the solution to this. We can do a quick 73 round if you'd like. So, buddy, you'll send it to Jimmy, and I guess your tail end Charlie. N4LQ WA4LR.
N4LQ. Okay. Well, Brian, hope you can find a tuner. I don't have another auto tuner, 100 water. Phil, you were Q5 on the infed, and minus Q5 on the vertical. I just barely could hear you. So thumbs down to the vertical. And let's see here. Hope here's some folks on 160. Usually Sunday night's kind of slow for 160 at night, and the last few nights we've had a pretty good crowd. So try to make it 8 o'clock on 1864 if you can possibly load something up and help warm up the shack. It's dropped 4 degrees here during the net. So it's heading down that way. I think it's supposed to get down to, let's see, 19 tonight. Pretty cold. So with that, 73s, and over to Mark, KG4IUQ, N4LQ.
Thank you very much, Steve. I'd like to say it's been a pleasure to be on this net this evening. Hope everybody has a good one. Mayor, good to hear about your finding a Harvey Wells TBS 50C and getting a good deal on it. I look forward to hearing that. The pristine condition TBS 50C. And it's good to hear about carbon replacements, kind of a FET transistor circuit made by Telex, and that you're using it in the place of a carbon microphone. I'm going to study on that, see what that's all about. My radio first was given to me, the TBS 50C, by Gordon Baker of Dandridge, Tennessee, before he passed away, AG4WH, and I was going to modify it to be a TBS 50D, but decided to keep them both. I got a second radio, and I decided to just keep them both. So I might need a carbon microphone replacement. Everybody have a good evening. I'm going to turn it over to Mayor WF2U in the group. This is KG4IUQ.
Yeah, Roger, KG4IUQ in the group, WF2U. Yeah, very good, Mark, and yeah, you booming in here, and everybody else. Really nice conditions. It's completely quiet here. And while we were, from the time that we started the net until now, the temperature dropped 3 degrees. So, yeah, we expect it to be in the 20s by the morning. Not unusual. It's been freezing every morning almost for 2 weeks, and or more. But anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I just have to go to the hardware store and pick up some electric, some AC cables and a plug and a couple of other decent wires for the interface. cable that goes to the 8-pin octal plug is okay. That is not frayed. Looks like the insulation is good, so I'm going to leave that alone. And but I don't like the way the relay, the PTT relay, was powered. It had a set of clip leads coming out of it. Obviously, it was hooked up to a battery or something. Just like it says in the manual, because obviously I don't know. So I'm going to take a little wall wart and use that. I'll probably mount it on the chassis. I'll use that, and so as soon as the AC switch is on, that power supply is going to be powered already, and I'll just have to read the coil of the relay, whether it's a 6 volt, 6 or 12 volt rated, and I'll put the little power supply in accordingly. And so I'll work on it the next few days, and I'll change the cap. It looks original. I don't want to mess with a 12 microfarad 600 volt capacitor, which must be at least, how many, one from the 50s? So it's 50, almost probably 70 years old or something. Anyway, so hopefully get that on the air. And by the way, Mark, you can get those telex. It's model 66 Tango, 66T. You can buy surplus. There are pages and pages of it in microphones on eBay. Most of them for offer. For initial prices around $40. I know that several years ago. I used that, by the way, on the ART-13 as well. I picked them up, with the offer around $20-25 a piece. They all work fine. I have like 3 of them. So all kinds of military stuff it works with. 73, everybody. Have a good evening, good nice week. I don't think I can get to the radio at 8 o'clock in the morning, Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm busy that time. But hopefully the weather is not going to be too bad for traveling or driving or anything. I don't think that if it snows, it's going to be as bad as the last time. So, John, if you're still here, 73 to you, pick it up, and I'll be just listening to the end of the net. KZ4B and the group, WF to you.
Okay, WF2U and the group. This is KZ4B, Fine Business Mayor. Conditions are really quite good today. I'm enjoying it. If you guys would say a little prayer for our whole neighborhood, because there's an 80 or 90 foot plus pine tree that's listing at least 30 degrees over one of the main roads coming into this neighborhood, and it's right there at the power line that feeds everybody. And it was going straight up just a week or two ago, so the tree is coming down. I have called Duke and tried to get him out there to go ahead and top the tree, because if it comes down, it definitely is it may even break 2 poles, because it's halfway between them, and there's a 12.5 kV line that feeds the whole neighborhood, and it's going to take it out. hopefully it'll just break and at least leave the poles. But you know, Mother Nature likes to pick a really cold day to screw you, and so I predict it could come down tomorrow just for us. And you know, on a really cold day, a generator will keep your lights on, but unless you've got a real moose, it's not going to heat your house. And even the gas logs struggle on a ridiculously cold day, and it doesn't heat the whole house. So there are going to be a lot of uncomfortable people around here very soon, unless we are just profoundly lucky. So there. And Charlie, on your hot water heater situation, I would think if the water is that acidic that it would eat a hole in the tank almost before it would eat through a stainless steel element. I really don't understand what's going on, because they don't make you know, this side of a fortune, they don't make stainless steel tanks. They're all carbon steel, and most of them have a sacrificial element in them that's usually a magnesium rod. And I've replaced the one in my heater twice, and it has electric thermostats, not electromechanical. So I've got all kinds of surge protection on it to protect the electrical switches. You know, they're basically solid state relays in effect. And but I've replaced the sacrificial anodes twice, because I have acidic water here, and that's to keep the tank from leaking. Because like I say, elements can be stainless, but I've never seen anybody could afford a stainless steel tank. So it's a really interesting situation you've got. And the neutral shouldn't have anything to do with it, because all water heaters of any size are 240 volts, you know, line. And so there is no neutral. It's hot to hot. And so even if you had a floating neutral, that can only affect one side or the other of the 120 volts. You can't have more than 240, no matter what, other than an externally generated surge like lightning. So I have rambled on enough. Thanks for calling the net, Dave.
Yes.
Enjoyed it today, and everybody stay warm. So, buddy, I think you're still there. WB4ARK and the group KZ4. Be clear by listening.
KZ4B, WB4ARK. Well, I forgot to mention about the transmitter. This is an ARRL transmitter, and it's built exactly like the ARRL designed it. And it came out, I think the first issue was 62 handbook, and it went for 4 consecutive years, so it went up to 64. So if you've got any one of the 60, I don't think 61 had it, but I think it started in 62. It's called a single 4400 kilowatt transmitter, and it's built in a Bud relay rack cabinet. It's exactly like the one shown in the handbook, and it's built with all new parts. I ordered all the parts from Dixie Electronics back in the day. So so Jimmy, I had written down Blazing Saddles also on my note sheet here, but forgot to mention it. That's the first time I had heard about Headley Lamar. So the question I have for Mir is the 66T telex unit. Where do you find wiring instructions for that? And so the other thing is, well, Charlie, I still stick by the lightning issue. If you live at the end of a line and you're the last person on the line, that makes it even worse. Your transformer, of course, has a lightning arrestor on it. The line, the 7,000 volt line up there should have a lightning arrestor on it. But either one of those could have been damaged, or both of them could have been damaged by a lightning strike. I've seen the bottom blown off of the pole of the transformer type lightning arrestors before, and the wire, the ground wire, is just hanging there, not even connected. So you might go out with your field glasses and take a look at that, see what you can see, because if you do have that situation, I would definitely get the power company out there and replace that, or you're going to continue to have issues. I don't believe that it's a water situation, because like John said, you've gone through different elements, stainless steel, the regular element, and it still corrodes it, or actually you said it deformed it. It deformed the element at the end, and that's typically from a lightning strike. And I think you could have a lightning strike. It might last for several months after that, or even longer, and then become unusable. So I'm going with the lightning issue. So with that, we'll turn it over to Jimmy. K4JAL, WB4ARK.
I believe Jimmy must have bailed. Phil, are you still with us? W9IXX, WA4LR.
Yeah, fine business. I'm still here. Of course, 73s to everybody. It was great to hear everybody. And you're still coming in. Everybody's Q5, good signals. On the electrical noise, I've got a noise loop here that I check power line. I go out with a little portable receiver I have and plug it into that and check for noise. It works pretty well, so if you need to borrow it or something, I've got that. Also, the weather, the clouds are still along the Blue Ridge there. They're still hanging in there in the horizon. Don't see any snow, but the clouds are still there. The temperature's dropped a few more degrees, and along with the wind, so we'll take care of all of that. Also, 10 meters is and 12 meters is doing pretty good. I'm looking at call-ins and stuff here, and my friend M3C Leto just called in VK9DX on 10, so I think that's Norfolk and Island. So anyway, the signals are coming in good, and good DX as far as the band, HF band. So best 73 to all. Anything anybody needs, let me know. I got plenty of stuff here too, surplus stuff. So need something, let me know. Anyway, it's coming over to you, Charlie. And again, 73, everybody, thanks for everybody. Nice talking to you all. W4MEC in the group, W9IXX.
No good, Phil. Real good. W9IXX in the group, W4MEC. We'll see y'all on Tuesday. Y'all will try to stay warm until then. 73, W4MEC. Bye-bye.
Okay. Fine business all the way around. Yeah, everybody was talking about Headley Lamar. I know that Mel Brooks got sued by Hedy Lamar over Headley Lamar. So, oh man. Anyway, enjoyed it this evening. Everybody had a great signal and overcame the noise, mostly on this end. The noise limiter had to help some, but most people blanked it out, so that was good. Anyway, hope to catch up with you on Tuesday. Everybody stay warm, and 7-3, God bless, and we'll look for you then. This is WA4LLR, David Burnsville, closing this segment.